So conflict is really key, because when we find ourselves in conflict, we can feel like we're spiritual failures, like we've done something wrong. How can we be in conflict when we're our brothers and sisters in Christ? And yet we do. This is human. This is normal. This is how we work as human beings. And what can be really empowering is to realize that we can prepare for conflict, that we can be aware of what our conflict styles are, what we do when we're in conflict. We can be alert to how other people respond and react when they're in conflict. And then we can learn how to manage ourselves in conflict. So instead of reacting in fight, flight, freeze, or flock, we can choose how we want to respond. So one of the ways that we can prepare for conflict is having a sense of expectancy. So if we have this stance of being open to what God is inviting us to in conflict and what God is wanting to show us and teach us through conflict, that prepares us to learn new insights about God, about our faith, about our lives, about our world. And that's a really exciting and transforming part of conflict. So one of the really helpful things in conflict is becoming aware of what happens in your body in conflict. What does your heart pound? Do you clench your fist? Does your jaw become tight? Is your back sore? And when you're aware of that, that alerts you to the fact that you're feeling stressed or tense or threatened here. And then you can remind yourself to take a deep, slow breath. You might ask for 5 minutes to take a break and reassure the person you're going to come back and engage with them. But you can listen to these signs in your own body that this is conflict and this is feeling hard, and I need to manage myself. I need to manage my thoughts, my emotion, and what's going on in my body so that I can be present to the other person, or I can engage constructively in this situation. And when you change the way that you engage with conflict, you give people permission to change the way they do conflict. Otherwise, you can find yourself stuck in a dysfunctional feedback loop, continuing these destructive behavior patterns. But if you decide to do something differently, then that can interrupt or disrupt this pattern so that other people can engage differently. There can be a contagion effect in engaging with conflict in a constructive, healthy way. Conflict can become a prayerful stance. It can become holy ground rather than something that people are shaming and blaming and feeling spiritual failures about. So for tools to be useful, we have to want to use them. And that's the rub. Because when we're in conflict, in difficult conflict, that's the last time when we want to use our tools. Let's be honest, we're not really at our best when we're in conflict. And so using these tools that we have to get through the conflict and make it more constructive, we can feel an inner resistance against doing that. No, this is hard. I don't want to. I'm right. They're wrong. So how do we prepare for that? First, by recognizing that that's what's going to happen, and then try using these tools intentionally in some of the more minor daily conflicts that we all experience every day and every week, every month. And as you practice using them, you will find that then when you hit up against that really tough conflict, it will be something that you've practiced using and that you know will be helpful, and you'll be more willing to use it.